If you master E5 tuning, then you can do fun stuff like this. Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the Magic of series, where we take a look at a fun and unique tuning and explore all the fun things that we can do with that. It's a good exercise in creativity to use some of these alternate tunings, learn some new things. Got another Soundgarden inspired tuning here. This is E5 tuning, or EEBBBE, and that is two E2s right here. We're going to go right into this here. Here are your tuning notes. So it's an E2, and then another E2, and then a B2, so we're taking our D string here and tuning it down. Same with the A, you're tuning that down to an E, which it can hold that pretty well actually. And then the D tuned down to a B2. And then a B3, so we're going up an octave. And in order to do this properly, you do have to replace your G string with a normal B string here to get the right tuning. Otherwise, if you try to tune up to that, you will break it, most likely. So, and then our normal B that we would have here. And then finally, our normal high E. And those are our tuning notes in this beautiful tuning here. All right, so let's not waste any time here. Let's get right into the biggest thing that makes this tuning cool, which is, since you have it tuned the way you do, your entire guitar becomes a big power chord, since you have your two E's here and then your B, which is the fifth, these high B's here, and then the high E. That all makes a big, giant power chord. That you can play like that. Of course, you have to be good at bar chords to get that whole thing all the time. I can't do that because my arms are a little bit too weak from my disability to be able to do that, but I can do this cheat one here to get all the strings down. And that's three, and then you can move that around. But then, I mean, the most useful way to do it is just the top three, like we do in any drop tuning, moving that around like normal. Of course, in my playthrough, I opted to do that major six in here. That's always a fun one to do instead of using your flat six there. That's the basic thing there. So you get the power chord because this is an octave with these two here, and then the B, and that's your fifth. And then you can just use those two strings here if you want for a regular power chord. And that works out pretty well. So, you know, that's the most useful thing with that. And of course, you get your big octaves if you just want to use those. And then down here, if you want the same thing, you've got that too. Just like we've done in some other tunings that you might be familiar with, like CGC, GGE, that's the tuning, and it has that G octave here. Instead, in this tuning, we've got a B octave, but it's the same principle with having your octave on these two strings here, your 4th and 5th string. And that's a pretty good trick there. I mean, you can get some cool lines with that, obviously. And just whatever you want to do there, really fun stuff. And I mean, those are the pretty basic things, of course, with the tuning that you can do. And we're going to get to a little bit more advanced idea here, which is using some of these weird 6 and 7 chords here. Of course, because B is your 5th, if you want a major 6, you just go 2 frets from wherever you're fretting, and you got it. So here, if we're at the 5th fret, we will put down our first finger on the 2nd E up here and the 1st B, and then the high Bs, we're going to be putting these 2 fingers here, which is going to give us a nice 6 chord. Make sure you're muting that high E because you don't want that here. And that gives a cool thing. I mean, of course, you can just completely cut that out and just do a full 6 here. But having the 5th in it gives it a little bit more depth. Just sounds way better. And of course, if we want to, we can add a minor 7 onto that, and that gives us a fun chord like this here, which is incredibly dissonant, but it can be fun if you have it in context with something, or you can just vamp between these ideas here. Let's see if I can get a slide with the pinky there. That's a little bit harder to do. There, we actually got it that time. And that's your basic one there. You can, of course, if you've got the stretch, get it like this here, where you're just doing the minor 7th and these in this power chord up here. You can mute doing that because that's a hard stretch. I think we got that there. Hopefully I don't brush against the live mic here. That had to be my fix for this, because having it where it was, the guitar strap would have been on top of it. So I put it on the guitar strap, and hopefully it's good sound quality. I didn't mention that earlier, of course. And if you're real crazy, we can go minor, minor here, minor 6, minor 7. But super dissonant things with that. I mean, that's just a fun chord you can do with that. You can, of course, change things up here by doing this guy instead. So, of course, here we've got this chord shape here, which is our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of this B, or 3rd finger on the 3rd, or 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the other B, and then on the E here, we have our pinky on the 5th fret here, which gives you, of course, an E, a D, and an A, which is a fun chord to have there, which I do use at the end of the playthrough that you guys might remember. And then, of course, move that around. That's a fun chord there to have, and you can combine that, of course, with this stuff that we did earlier, which kind of sounds like the same chord because you didn't move that finger, but that's just a fun thing to do there, of course. If you want to invert this and use the 4th instead here to make a kind of a sus chord, but not really, you can do that by flipping it here with your 3rd and pinky on this E here, this 2nd E here, and this 1st B here, and then our 3rd, and then our 2nd B, we have our 1st finger on that 3rd fret. And then, of course, you can go between that for fun if you want to. And things like that. So, I mean, there's some weird, interesting chords you can get here if you're really paying attention to it. Of course, like we said, we got the run through, we got the power chord. We got the 6th chord. We got the 6 with the minor 7. We got the full minor 7, like a nutcase. If you can get it ringing, we've got the full minor thing, which is a super dissonant chord. Don't do it. We got this chord here, which I believe is, you could say, is a sus2 inversion, and say our root's on our 1st finger, our 5th is here, and then we have a 2 where our third finger is. And then the fun sus4. And those are most of the useful chords that you're going to find. There could be other things, but those are the easiest ones to get and figure out there. So that's a fun thing right there. And of course, this opens up fun things with like slidey lead lines. That's kind of how you have to do lead on this. I mean, you can try pentatonic if you want to by doing this. But it's just, you're just repeating the pattern the whole way, which is not so fun. So you look more for slidey kind of leads here if you want to do that kind of thing. And I mean, those are really fun there. I like this fun key that I have here, which is you have everything in your normal minor key, but instead of a minor 6, you use a major 6, which is kind of what I had in the playthrough, of course. Playing in that always sounds really good when you're soloing, you know? So there's some stuff like that. Okay, guys, that's gonna cover, I think, pretty much everything that you can maybe do with this tuning, except for, of course, playing slide on it, because it's just power chords, so you can have some fun with that. But I don't have a slide, and I've never played it, so we're not doing that. But you could if you wanted to. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video looking at E5 tuning. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to click the bell so you get notifications for when a new video is going to be out. And with that, I will see you guys next time for another video. Have a good one.